Order this meeting of the North Liberty Library Board of Trustees to order. Item number 2 on our agenda tonight. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda we want to make? Hearing none. Public comment, seeing no one in the gallery for the chamber, council chamber, we'll go on to item number 4, the approval of the August minutes. As we were talking about, they were not in the current packet, but in the most updated packet on the Dropbox. And they were emailed to all of us. If anyone wants to actually give them a look over, I have a hard copy. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from August?
I move to approve the minutes from August.
Do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Hearing no no's, the minutes are approved. Moving on to item number 5 of the agenda, our introduction of a staff, Melanie.
You're going to say the right last name?
No.
Melanie Harrison. And I am the marketing and engagement coordinator, so I'll tell you a little bit about what I do. But I did bring some snacks and just some samples of things that I've created or do as part of my job. So take one and pass it along, if you will. Or one, you can take whatever. So yes, library marketing engagement. I'm sure a lot of you know what marketing is. I do all of the stuff promotional wise for the library, including like the new patron bookmark, any special bookmarks or promotional items we need, signs, social media, website. I just pulled up our website and I almost hate it because the margins on every single computer are different and I don't like the way that's cutting, so it's bothering me a little bit. But, you know, making sure stuff is updated and as current as possible. I also ask staff if they've got moments when they're at the desk to always be, you know, scrolling through our website. See if you can find a link that's broken, let me know. If something's outdated, because as much as I would like to be up to date on it all the time, that just sometimes things change fast and then we don't get it caught up as fast as they happen. So yeah, that's the website. That's part of mine. We do a monthly newsletter. So that goes out on usually the first Friday of the month. But I try to avoid the first of the month since a lot of companies do that. And we've had really good luck with that. Sometimes if that Friday is the first of the month, we'll wait till the Monday. We've got weird justifications for what we do, but I've been pretty proud. It's stayed at like between 50 and 55% engagement, which makes me happy. A couple years ago, we went and added a whole bunch of our library patron emails just as they've given it to us. We hadn't kept up with getting those imported, and we did that, and I was really scared that it was going to go, and it hasn't. So we went from like 2,000 that had grown like over several years to like 7,000, and to maintain that engagement, even with the bulk ad, I was happy with that. Let's see, what else? Website, and then support staff. So a lot of the things that you hear other staff talk about when they visit, I've probably been a support to them in some way, be it creating promotional items, working with them for ideas, any number of those things. And then the engagement, which is the part that's most fun to me. But I like all of it, but I really enjoy the engagement part. And getting to be involved in getting the community excited about the library and coming up with different ideas for how to bring people in. And for some age groups, that's a lot easier than other age groups. North Liberty has a high, young family and young adults, and like teens are really, really hard to come up with things and ideas to help bring them in. Families are pretty easy because they're coming and using the community center. And then adults are, hit and miss, like just coming up with ideas for like, how can we get them engaged in using the library? And so some of the things that we've done, I try to make things so that they're as like universally age appropriate as we can. Sometimes they're have more draw to a different age. One of my favorites we've done the last like 3 years is the tiny art show. We usually do that in the springtime around spring break so that families can come pick up, but we encourage all ages. It's not just for families, it's for all ages. As you will see, I'll pass around. Here's just a few that were on my desk from this year's art show, and it's so fun to see the talent that our community has, and people get excited about it. This year we've worked with, then we also can use the opportunities to pull in our like community partners. So the Cedar Rapids Museum of Art came and they did a workshop with us during that week. And then also Big Picture came and kind of offered ideas for people. So, and then we collect them all through the month of March. I can't remember if it's March. And then in April, they go out through May. So, and then we hang them up, like I put them on boards and then we hang them up on our big windows. And this year we had like an opening night and invited people to come and had tiny little chocolate chip cookies and just had fun inviting people in to come and check it out. We still do the booked up craft kits, but some of them are more in person now, and we do a couple a year. We started more during COVID doing that as here's all the supplies for something you can do at home. And we've kind of continued that as we have ideas for things. We'll do it just as a pop up in the library here. Like over the summer we did, since it was read, renew, repeat, or return, repeat was ours. We just did book bags. And so people could come and add patches and draw and design on book bags. Then I'm also, the last 2 years I've worked with Jillian from the city on the costume closet. So we're currently collecting costumes. And then on the last weekend of this month, we'll have them available in the library and families can come and choose a costume if they are in need or want. So they don't have to donate to be able to get a costume, but then we'll have it set up and they can shop the costumes and then have a costume for events and festivities throughout the month of October. And then one that I'm really excited about is we're working on our North Liberty Library Kids Vote. We've done this several times. Usually we pick a couple of book characters, and we really wanted to bring the characters in this year, but the characters that we kept requesting from the place that we get the costumes from, the book character costumes, never had the ones we wanted available. And so finally we decided to use some resources that we have in the library and are doing a Bluey and Taylor Swift vote. So it's not book characters, but we're hoping that Taylor Swift will bring some of the older kids, and Bluey, everybody loves Bluey. So we're really excited about that. So starting tomorrow, we'll have a sheet, and then kids can practice writing their voter registration information. And then the youth Kayla and Zoe are doing a kids campaign. So leading up to the big event, they will have their program, which will be creating vote for so-and-so, whichever one. People can come and campaign for Bluey or Taylor. And then we'll also have absentee voting going on. So if folks can't make it to our voting event on November 2nd, they can vote absentee. And then our big vote event will be on Saturday, November 2nd. And we will have Bluey there and their Taylor Swift impersonator. So we're really excited about that. And anybody who hasn't voted will be able to have the opportunity to vote there. We have little things that'll block off. And then we'll reveal who the winning character or persona, I don't know, will be. So as just a fun way to get kids involved in civic opportunities and engagement. So that one's exciting and coming up. One that's just kind of there, but always that draws attention is I have an upside down tree that I put up in the library, and I don't ever put like holiday stuff. It's usually like last year we did Taylor Swift. Sometimes we've done Frozen. Sometimes we've done, one year I think we hung underwear and socks on it because we were doing, we were collecting stuff for the pantry. So we try to like make it a fun, and every single person that comes in talks like is intrigued by this upside down tree. So that's just another way that's fun. Matilda, I wouldn't say I'm not the original caretaker of this idea or bringing them in, but I do kind of oversee her, and she again draws in all ages and intrigues people. So, and then another thing that I really that I'm involved in as engagement is sitting on like city slate committees, as several staff do. I also sit on community event planning committees like Blues and Barbecue. So as kind of the library involvement person in some of those larger events. Do you guys know about city slate and what that is? Yeah. So that's a lot of fun. And then I also create some of the things that I passed around. And then a couple of outside things are pollinator garden. So we bring in leafcutter bees in the springtime. They're super pollinators that don't tend to, they're like kind, gentle bees. So they don't tend to like bite, but we use that, or sting. But we bring that as an engagement. Like there's all sorts of kinds of bees that are around there, but it's fun bringing those in because they nest right there and they are very gentle and they're fun to watch. We plant native plants in the beds to attract bees and butterflies and all of the pollinators. And then this was the second year we added a third bed, and that is our play bed. Play garden, and it's just a raised bed garden that's full of dirt and all sorts of toys, and it is so fun to watch the kids of all ages out there like digging in the dirt and getting dirty. And so those are a few of the things engagement wise that I help with or participate in. Over the weekend we had, the city did the movie on the plaza here. And it's library card sign up month. So we had a display out there, but like one thing that's kind of an easy idea for promotion is like every kid likes a coloring sheet. I think someone brought this idea back, and so I just put a little promo for our costume closet, like, hey, here's the things we need. And then you can come and shop it and the dates and the times, but then they could pick it up and have a coloring sheet. So kind of pair something informational that they might look at with something that a kid's going to be excited to grab and take home, or adults. But yeah, those are some of the things that I do. Am I missing anything, Jenny, or is there anything?
She also sometimes takes my ideas and sometimes tells me why they won't work, which is great.
I'm always impressed by the artwork. I'm terrible at art, and the fact that people can do that good of a job in that confined of a space is impressive.
Yeah.
Does anybody have questions for Melanie?
Any big scary questions?
All right.
All right.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie. Let's move on to item number 6 on the agenda, reports from the director.
All right. Budget report is first. And as I say every month, we're pretty close to average right now. Obviously, the repair, maintenance, utilities, which is where our databases and some of our library software comes out of, is front-loaded because we spend money right away on those. But overall, we're sitting pretty well for the total average, which is 16%. And I don't think there's anything much to report other than that. I will tell you that we'll start getting emails from city administration in the next month or so to start preparing for FY26, which always comes as a surprise, even though it happens at the same time every year. And we'll start having those meetings in October and November to plan for FY26. Does anyone have any questions about the budget? All right.
Well, there's not.
Okay, moving on. So we are finalizing, Andrew and I have been working on this Iowa annual survey, which is from the state library. They take all of that data and kind of give us some nice statistics and things to compare with other libraries of the similar size. That's broken down by size. And then Melanie takes that data and makes it into a beautiful community report for everybody. Every year, that's usually 2 pages, one page, two-sided. Nice condensed report with prettier things than the actual all the numbers on the state data report. Andrew has been fantastic in the last few years. We've kind of paired up. I used to do the whole thing where he gathers a lot of the statistics, especially for the collection and the programming, and gets those entered, and then I enter the staff information, budget information, and the library operations info. So it's gone really smoothly. It's almost ready to submit. I was just holding off on a couple of things, but we should have that submitted in the next little while. It's not due till the end of October, so I'm actually really proud that we're as far along as we are. Staff update, we do have 2 positions that we filled. Unfortunately, the page position that we filled, the person is not going to be able to take the job, so we are offering it to another candidate and hoping that she will accept. She just accepted another part-time job, so we'll see if she wants to do both. She's going to call Jen tomorrow and let her know. If not, we are probably not hard-pressed to get that position filled. We're doing pretty well with some of our part-timers who have some daytime availability. We just wanted a consistent person to be there to help out in the mornings when we are light on some staff, sometimes if they're off doing programs or when they go on breaks, to have an additional person there to help cover. So hopefully that position will be filled. The library assistant position has just started this last week. So we're happy to have a full staff again. And then I just thought this was really cool. I wanted to share it. It was actually Nick's, and I didn't see it in his report, the adult services librarian, but we had some patrons in crisis this summer who came in, a person who was unhoused and was overheated, and we helped as best we could with just like paper towels and a towel. So it was Nick's suggestion, and we bought 10 cooling towels that can be used in the library and also for our own staff to use if they're working outside, like for the summer lunch and things like that, where they're out a lot, to help keep them cool. I just wanted to share that because I thought it was kind of a great idea. We are working with, I just had a meeting today, actually, with the Lynn County and Johnson County library directors. We're calling it the corridor directors meeting. And there were 5 of us today talking about some really exciting, a really exciting training opportunity that we're going to open to all Lynn and Johnson County libraries. On February 20th, we'll close all of our libraries, which will be really weird. Hopefully, I think everybody except for Iowa City has confirmed that they're okay to close at this point, and Iowa City is checking. We are going to host someone his name is Shola Richards, on workplace culture. He was at the Public Library Association conference last year, and Dara Schmidt, who's the director at Cedar Rapids, had approached me at that conference and said, wouldn't it be cool if we did a day of training for all of our libraries? And I was like, I would love that so much. So what we're going to do is have Shola there in the morning. We'll be inviting all of our library staff. Boards of trustees will also be invited to attend that 1-hour presentation with Shola Richards, and he will have his new book, which is coming out in the spring. He'll have 500 copies. So most people who attend, if not all people who attend, will get a copy of his new book. Again, that's February 20th. It's going to be at 9 a.m. at the DoubleTree in Cedar Rapids. More information will come out on that, but we will be inviting all of you along with us for that, and then a couple some key city staff may also be able to come. We're just working on numbers right now. And then in the afternoon, we'll go back to the Cedar Rapids Public Library, or after the event, and do lunch as a group, all of us, and then have some in-service trainings, which we are going to put back on the staff. We're going to divide the staff sort of by their core areas of, so a programming team, the marketing people, the collection people, and give them a chance to come together and plan their own couple of hours of training and propose those back to us, and then we'll set them free to do the cool things and kind of learn from each other. We've never done anything like this. I don't even know how many people, I don't know how many people Cedar Rapids has on staff. I do know Marion has 56 people. Most of them are part-time. I don't know how many of them will come. So it's going to be a big group of people doing a lot of cool things in the closed Cedar Rapids Public Library, which will be kind of cool. And then our own Johnson County Public Libraries group met in August with Becky Heil, who's a consultant at the State Library, and we worked on some strategic planning for our public libraries of Johnson County. That is not something we've never done anything like that. It really turned out well. Becky's fantastic at kind of mediating that and working through those types of things with folks. And what we're going to be using it for is to market our libraries in the county and have a collective voice as we are out and about. We're pretty excited about it. It was fairly simple. We've all known each other for quite some time and worked together. So there's 7 libraries in Johnson County. And I will say just that I think there's 11 in Cedar Rapids. And I feel like there's some disconnect with those libraries where our Johnson County ones seem to be pretty much in sync with each other. So it's kind of nice to see. We just had our carpets cleaned. I'm so happy. They were disgusting. Probably the dirtiest I've ever seen them. And then we always wait till after summer because I know summer's just going to be destructive. And then our upholstery is going to be cleaned in a couple of months. We'll set that up, and then the owner of the carpet cleaning company is actually coming, sent me a quote, I just haven't had a chance to open it yet, to do quarterly maintenance on the carpet and split that up. So, and then what he will do is still look around and spot check anything. So it'll have a nice cleaner appearance, it'll be better for the carpet, make it last longer, those types of things. So I'm pretty excited about carpet cleaning. I know that's just another thing that we, don't think about and has to happen. Technology update, we are working on replacing some laptops for our patrons to use, updating our iPads, and also looking at updating the website a little bit. Nick has been kind of working on the website. There's a few things that we're sort of locked out of by the creators of our website, that is the designers and the people who house it for us. So we're working with them. Well, hopefully they haven't responded yet, but to try to update the website a bit. The iPads just need some extra maintenance to get so that they're more up to date all the time. We think they're still usable and good. We just need to get some updates more regularly done on them. And then the laptops are just getting really old. So we will be getting some new ones. We're probably only going to get about 4 to 6. They don't go out as much, but I have noticed just personally, and I'm only on the desk an hour a week, if that there have been more people requesting laptops again. So I don't know, it's not a lot, but it's definitely, we used to have 16 and they would be, 8 or 10 of them would be out pretty regularly. I think most people, a lot of people have their own handheld devices now. So we don't see quite as much of that. And they also like the sit down stations too, but we want to make sure that we have at least some up to date for folks who need to take tests in our meeting rooms and things of that nature. Professional development, I just got back from the Association for Rural and Small Libraries conference last week. It was, as always, very uplifting. It's just a fantastic conference. I was fortunate to be asked to be involved in their leadership cohort, so helping the person who is running their leadership, teaching the lead instructor with the whole day at the event, and spending time with 30 emerging leaders at that. And it was just really uplifting to see that group who had never met in person connect and really build relationships just in one day of 8 hours of time, and to watch them throughout the conference together. And it was just so much fun. And then we did offer a leadership mix and mingle the next night where they got to spend time with some of the leaders of the association. And that was exciting as well. And then I did present with Sam Helmick from Iowa City on Friday, a program called Choose Your Own Adventure, Intellectual Freedom, which was, I think, really well received. There were about 45 people there, and 2 people, one from Washington State and one from Michigan, have approached us about potentially coming and doing staff in-service days for them. I don't know what that looks like yet, but we'll see if that comes to fruition or if they actually are planning to fly us there, which would be crazy. As I mentioned last month, I am heading to the League of Cities on Wednesday and presenting. Our program is called Catalyst for Public Libraries Catalyst for Civic Renewal with Sam Helmick from Iowa City and Tyler Hahn from Cherokee. The really fun thing about Sam is that Sam was just appointed the American Library Association president because the president for next year was unable to fulfill the role. So it's kind of cool that we have an Iowan representing us at that level of library work. And then I get back on Thursday from Sioux City and fly out for the Library Freedom Project boot camp on Friday and spend the weekend talking about intellectual freedom, privacy, information democracy, copyright, all sorts of exciting library stuff. And then just the last 2 travels of the year, I'm putting it in writing because I'm just wanting it to be true, is heading to Iowa Library Association in Des Moines on the 10th and 11th. We are presenting the same concept there that we're doing in Sioux City. The only switch will be that Bill Carroll from Marion will take Tyler's spot. Bill was the originator of originally supposed to be with us in Sioux City and had to step off that one for a family emergency, so Tyler agreed to step in. And we're just going to flip it and talk about this same thing from the library perspective. I would note that in some of the libraries in Iowa, even I've seen notes that come across the list. For instance, there was a smaller library the other day. They sometimes struggle to build relationships with their cities and to keep those strong. There's a librarian who said that their city clerk and their mayor were using the library when it was closed to do work on their table, and their library board was so up in arms over that and did not want them working in there. And I was like, why? Are they vandalizing the library? Like, why is there a problem? They're a partner with you. They work in the same city with you. So I think that there is some work to be done to keep those relationships sustainable and cultivate them. I don't know what it is. I had this discussion with our city administrator. He said it's just interesting that some of the smaller towns particularly just clash. The city clerks and librarians tend to just butt heads. So I don't know what it is, but we're hoping to spread some joy about what can happen if you have a positive relationship between your library and your city. And then finally, the Association for Rural and Small Libraries, my last hurrah. It's my very last board meeting and retreat. Well, I think I have one more board meeting online, but my last in-person board meeting as the board member and past president. So I have loved every minute of being a part of that, and I'm also going to be delighted to be done for a while with it. And that is my report tonight. Does anyone have questions?
Any info from the Friends of the Library?
They are working with Nick Shimon. I don't know if he mentioned it in his report. I don't remember seeing it on a puzzle competition fundraiser. And Nick and Corey have offered to do the fundraiser for them. Basically, the Friends is just throwing in the money for it more than anything else. I was trying to see if Nick had it in his. Oh, no, that he did because he didn't have it figured out quite yet. So it's going to be a puzzle competition in the library proper after we close. We had talked about different venues and where we wanted to host it and decided that that's probably the best option. If we roll in tables and let people just sit in the library after close, it would be kind of a cool, fun way to do it. So, and that was Nick proposed that, and we've done other programs like that after closing, so I think it'll work out well. Other than that, that is where what the Friends have going right now. They are had also agreed to support the Shola Richards visit because it's not cheap to bring in big names like his. So we actually talked about Brene Brown too, but she's over six figures.
Yeah, I can
So
imagine,
we
right?
will not bring her. And did anyone have any other questions about the staff reports? This was, as mentioned, so I had to have this board packet done before I left on vacation. Typically, I do it the week before the board meeting. So I think everything pretty much, except for I didn't get the minutes until last week. I had pretty much everything else got put in there. The staff really came together and got me the info on time, so that was awesome. And that's all I have.
Very good. Let's move on to the policy review. This month we're reviewing the collection development policy. And I don't see any edits on this version.
There were no edits from any of the staff. As mentioned, we had just done a revision of this in March. I believe it was March. So it's pretty up to date with the main addition for the new folks would be like basically saying that we will not remove titles solely because someone finds them objectionable. Again, we removed the reconsideration form, or what did we call it? We ended up calling it something else later on down the road, and it's blank. I'm going blank on it. Something of concern. I believe it was just like a concern form. We still have the feedback form online, and folks can use that if they have a question about a piece of material that's in the library. And I will say at our meeting today, Dara from Cedar Rapids mentioned that they had just changed their policy. I still think they have a form, but they changed their policy so the board is not under the gun for a challenge. It stops at the director. So if the form is filled out or someone submits a complaint about a piece of material, it goes to the director and the director makes the decision, which is virtually the same thing as what we do. I think it strengthens that relationship and brings it back to the expertise of the library staff doing their work. And she did say that they had their first challenge ever since the new policy came in, and she did step through that process just recently. So, but other than that, unless you all found something, I think it's just a matter of voting.
Yes. Are there any matters of concern by anyone?
I didn't have any.
No.
Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the policy?
Move to adopt the policy as included in the packet of materials for the board meeting.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Brandy. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Hearing none in the negative, the policy is approved for a year. Moving on to old business.
I got nothing.
Got nothing. New business, we have an update on our county board position from the director.
Yes. So I know I'd mentioned, so our former county board position was filled by Jack Abels. Jack had not attended multiple meetings without prior notice. So in discussing that with the county and waiting for their response on how to handle that, the word that came back to us was, go ahead and handle it yourselves at the city level. So the mayor actually wrote a letter to Jack with the help of our city attorney that just said because of missed meetings and lack of attendance that he was removing his appointment from the board, and that has been done now. And he was given time to respond to that. That was part of the process, and he has not. So I actually just talked to the city attorney today, Grant, and Grant suggested that we can seek a county representative and appoint them rather than actually putting out a call for applications. That we have he's read through everything, and he feels confident that we can just appoint. That means that Chris Hoffman, our mayor, would appoint someone, and then they would send it to get on the county's agenda to be approved. So that's where we are right now. I am going to be trying to find someone to fill that. So if any of you know a good person that lives in the county, please send me that information, and we can contact them and see if they'd be interested in doing that. So that is where we are now. I'd love to see someone appointed within the next month or two. See if
They
we
need to
can-
be in a county, but not in the city, correct?
Correct. They can't live in North Liberty. Grant almost made it sound like they could live in Iowa City or Coralville. We've typically taken someone who lives in the county itself. I think that that's a good, I like that model because they represent the rural folks who use the library, and there's quite a good level number of rural people that use the library. So I think it's nice to have that balance of having one county rep. So yes, they just need to live in the country or somewhere rural where they don't pay a city water bill, basically.
Okay.
Given the novelty of the thing that we had to deal with, is there any changes that we need to ask the attorney that we might want to make to the bylaws? Because reading the bylaws, it looks like we could have handled it internally following the process that was there, but we didn't know how that relationship with the county actually worked.
Yeah, and I don't know that there is. I think it's more just a matter of
Now we know that-
now we know what we know, type of thing.
That we can
where
handle
we
it.
can handle it. When I initially brought it to our city admin and to Grant, I think they thought I should go through the county, and then it was the county director, executive director, who actually came back and said, after reading everything, this is what I think we need to do, which actually is much quicker than having the county do it.
Right.
They're wonderful to work with, and sometimes not very fast. So.
Very good.
I do think that'd be something we could look at though when the bylaws come up again the next time they're circulated, just to see if there's anything there that would be helpful.
Okay, and I'll definitely can bring that up to Grant too, just to make sure that he doesn't see any holes in it that we might want to change.
Yeah, I didn't, given what you've explained now, I think that the bylaws would cover it. We just say, someone moved to ask person X to
Yes,
to
so
please
that we
leave.
could have definitely done.
And then, we construct the letter ourselves to the county probably
Yeah.
after we've made that decision as a body.
Well, and we may have to take it up through the council first, just because.
Right, we do, right, that's
and
part of
then
the thing.
Then the county,
But
yeah.
we don't want to do that because the president is supposed to go to that meeting, and I don't know whether the president wants to go to that meeting.
Right, right.
Anyway, all right.
So fingers crossed, we'll have someone at least by November, if not October.
Thank you.
But please do send any names if you know of anyone. That might fit the bill. I had a couple people in mind, but I'm not sure they'd be up for it. And that's all. That I
Very
have.
good. That being said, do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I move to adjourn.
We are adjourned.